What is the dark web and what implication does it have on marketing? So there was this recent session which I took at NMIMS college, and I wanted to share my research today. So there are three parts of the modern web. The 4% of the web which we typically search for on search engines like Google, Bing, is called as the surface web, and the remaining 96% comprises of deep web and the dark web. So deep web is nothing but pages on the internet which sit behind a login screen. For example, let's say you have a bank account. There would be so many people who will be having an account, and their pages would not be accessible directly, but they sit behind a login screen. All these pages, they comprise of the deep web. And then the 3-4% comprises of the dark web, which are basically pages you cannot directly surf on search engines like Google and Bing, and they need to be accessed using a special browser. So this is the definition of dark web from Investopedia. It says it is encrypted online content which is not indexed by the conventional search engines like Google. And as we said, it can be accessed by specific browsers, such as a browser called as Tor. So let's take, is it illegal to browse the dark web? So no, it's not illegal to browse the dark web. Actually, anybody can browse the dark web, but whatever is illegal to do in the real world is also illegal to do on the dark web. So there are a lot of illegal activities which do go on the dark web, like you can purchase stolen information, or you can hire a hacker to maybe get a site hacked. So all this being illegal in the real world is also illegal on the dark web. Can I be tracked on the dark web? So yes, I mean, dark web did come into existence because of privacy and anonymity concerns. But the fact of the matter is that you can be tracked on the dark web. In fact, somebody who uses the Tor browser and browses the dark web, the ISP does come to know that you are currently browsing the dark web. Therefore, a lot of people actually use a VPN combined with the Tor browser to become more anonymous. What is Tor? So Tor is a browser which came into existence based on the privacy that it offers, and it is one of the primary means which is used to browse the dark web today. Right. So it's a free browser that enables anonymous browsing. Now this is a version of Reddit called as Dread on the dark web. So similarly, you would see many such clones of social media websites, even marketplaces like Amazon, which are available on the dark web. Uh, why these networks exist on the dark web is because uh, people, they do want to be free and not be tracked. So there are security concerns and not as much privacy available on the surface web. So they come and they are more open to discussing topics, or they give their actual opinions about things on the dark web, because they feel that they are more anonymous on the dark web. Now, why you should monitor the dark web? Because let's say you're an e-com website, you hear a lot of data breaches which happen today. So sites, like all the time you hear, even actually larger sites, they get their data breached, and these username password of accounts are available. So typically, all such information is available for sale on the dark web. So dark web is one of the places where any brand would come to know that their information has been breached and is available for sale. So it definitely makes sense from a cybersecurity point of view for any brand to monitor the dark web and understand whether such kind of a breach or such information for their brand is available for sale. So there are a lot of tools which are coming up today which you can actually use to monitor the dark web for such kind of information. Let's take a look at some business implications of dark web. What are the advantages? So it helps people maintain privacy, right? And people can actually come and freely express their views on dark web as compared to surface web. Now, brands can also monitor conversations. So if they do feel that they are a part of these conversations, they can monitor conversations on the dark web using tools. to find out what people are talking, and then as it is also done on the surface web, they can take actions as per the feedback that they are getting through these conversations. So these advantages of dark web, which is the privacy focus and protection practices, which offer anonymity, these are getting increasingly adopted on the surface web. So if you look at the last 5 to 10 years, a lot of conversation has shifted towards privacy, and how people are not comfortable sharing all their data online with brands and different websites and apps. So there is a lot of discussion around this in recent times, and these advantages of dark web will increasingly move to the surface web going forward. So in the process, of course, firms like today, we like have a lot of ability as marketers and advertisers to target and hyper target people on different social media websites, etc., advertising platforms, because there is this data available which allows us to do that, right? So as the world starts getting more privacy conscious, and the access to data goes down, it will definitely be more difficult to target people as we are able to do today. So what will be the future of marketing in a privacy first web? It will be more difficult to create in-depth profile of users. There would be difficulties, as we said, in hyper targeting, and expensive and complex technological investments might need to be made to get the level of targeting that we have today, right? So what we're saying is, like, there'll be two types of users which will emerge in a information controlled environment. So there are consumers which will be willing to give their information for tracking, recording, like we do today. This group will be called as buffs, and there would be people who would deny access to such information and thereby become digital ghosts. So they would be called ghosts. So there will be two overall groups, buffs and ghost, which people would be marketing to in a privacy first web. Now, there would be different ways in which firms will try and get access to data of ghost customers. So definitely, financial incentives would be one, wherein you might offer them financial incentives to get their information, which also happens in a lot of e-com sites even today. And then there would be hyper personalization benefits that can be offered in terms of value to ghost if they offer their data to the brand. Uh, there are a lot of advancements in terms of conversational agents or chatbots, which will help in converting these ghost customers into buffs going forward. So with chatbots, whether it's AI or human powered, it's very easy to strike a conversation with an anonymous user on your website, and through that conversation, the bot would be able to understand what your requirement is, and then it will offer something which offers relevant value to that person. And in exchange of that, they might ask your details, which ultimately will get stored in the CRM, and then you are basically providing permission to the website to market to you in exchange for that value. So this will be some of the strategies which will be used going forward to convert these goals and get the first party data for marketing. So there was this recent update which happened in iOS 14, which is called as app tracking transparency. So wherein people using iPhone specifically would have seen this kind of pop-up coming up whenever they install any app, and it says that, whether you want to allow that app to track your activity. So it's making it very explicit for people to uh, specify whether they want to share their data with that particular app or not. So if you select ask app to not, your data will not be tracked by that particular app, and your behavior will not be studied. So I mean, you will not be part of that group which can be targeted accurately then by that app. Due to this particular change, it is said that even Facebook faced predicted that they will face a loss of up to $10 billion in revenue, because they won't be able to target people as accurately as it was being done before this update uh, came into place. So what Facebook also did was they also ran a campaign against Apple after this happened, saying that you are actually reducing the ability for small businesses to target their prospects and customers. You're hampering small business to grow as much they could have before this update. So there was definitely a hit felt by social media networks. Now, another change which is happening, like in Jan 2020, Google did announced that they're planning to phase out third-party cookies in its Chrome browser, and move towards a cookieless future, as part of it being more privacy friendly. Now, why is Google phasing out cookies? Because users are demanding more privacy, right? More transparency, choice, and control over how their data would be used. So that's why Google still wants to, still wants Chrome to be the browser of choice, Google to be the search engine of choice. So they are moving towards a more privacy first environment, and it is said that they are evolving to create the web ecosystem needed to meet this increasing demands. So, post cookie world would be the future. I mean, this is not yet 100% implemented, but it would come into force going forward, and that would be the future which marketers would have to deal with. So, in this post cookie world, the primary source of digital insights about customers and prospects would most likely be first party data, which is basically collected from customers with their consent. And this, like if it's your website, for example, and there are visitors coming onto your website, then all the data, that is your first party data. So similarly, all of the data which you would be typically using to market would ideally be first party data going forward. Thank you.